we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Ronline Report. Today, I'm speaking with the founder and CEO of MuscleMeds, makers of Carnivor, the world's best-selling beef protein. You also might know him as one of the greatest amateur bodybuilders of the 1990s, Gerard Dente. How are you, sir?
Hey, what's going on, Ron?
How are you holding up over there in New Jersey?
Yeah, we're doing all right. It's a strange time. And New Jersey actually, New York's got it really bad, but I'm not too far out of Manhattan, so everybody's as in most places, we're all under lockdown.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's interesting. I was talking to Rick Collins yesterday, and essential businesses versus non-essential businesses. The supplement industry is considered an essential business for the most part because it's food, correct?
exactly, yeah, foods and supplements were considered part of the essential businesses. But what we did is, to help minimize we have pretty much everybody working from home when possible. Just to try and help minimize the spread of this, and then hopefully we get back to normal soon.
Yeah. I was thinking when I was going to Costco and BJ's and places like that and seeing the lines, seeing the shelves, the places with the chicken and the beef, everything was sold out. Meat was very hard to come by because people were buying up weeks and weeks worth. I thought this is actually a great time to stock up on protein powders and RTDs because you don't know if you're going to have your chicken tomorrow. You just don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's true. I mean, we've actually seen a little bit of an uptick, to be honest with you, on people buying buying more protein because, like you said, the protein supply at the store level has been low. It's a lot of out
Right.
of stock. So
Right.
so people are leaning toward protein powders, ready to drinks, and so forth.
Yeah. And that brings us to what we're here to talk about today, which is carnivore beef protein isolate. Like you said, it's the world's best-selling beef protein isolate. It was the world's first beef protein isolate. When did you actually hear about such a thing as beef protein isolate? How long ago was it?
Well, it was about 2008 when the concept of beef protein originated, and around 2000, it was around 2009. We spent some time developing the product, and 2009 is when we launched Carnivore.
Okay. Yeah. How did you guys get to be the first to bring it to market? Was nobody else aware that it was, or were you the only ones who saw the potential benefits of it?
I think one of the things that I always try to look for is kind of innovations and what's available, looking at different research and trying to keep an eye on that type of stuff. And I think when I saw beef protein isolate, the whole concept of being able to consume beef as a supplement without any of the fat and cholesterol, and be able to deliver high concentrations of protein and amino acids. It just seemed like a no-brainer. So that's really where it all originated. I had thought that this would be kind of easy for people to understand. I understood the benefit of being able to get beef protein in the supplement form. So
Yeah.
that's really where it all started.
Yeah, because beef in general has been a staple for bodybuilders probably, I want to say 50, 60 years at least, maybe going back even further than that. But the problem with beef is you don't want to eat too much of it every day. It's not a good thing to consume a ton of beef, and that's mainly because of the fat content in it, even if you get lean beef. But you basically solve that problem so that people can get the benefits of the beef, which the extra creatine, the B vitamins, things like that, without having to slam down pounds and pounds of beef every day.
Yeah,
So
exactly. As you mentioned, beef has been a staple for bodybuilders and athletes, forever.
yeah,
It's always what athletes look for, especially when they're mass building and looking to pack on size and strength. So carnivore, gives you the ability to get in that beef protein, and by doing a hydrolysate process and isolation processes, we remove all the fat and cholesterol, yielding a very concentrated beef product.
so I remember the launch of this product came with an ad with Kai Greene, who was a MuscleMeds athlete at the time and winning Arnold Classics, and it was probably one of the most memorable supplement print ads I've ever seen because it was Kai, who's built like a silverback gorilla, sitting there and gnawing on a big old piece of steak. Was that ad your concept, your idea?
exactly. It was, how do we communicate? And, Kai was, a great representative for our brand. As you said, he was, was at a time when he was, competing at the Arnold Classic champion, and, very muscular, as we all know.
Mm.
But Kai also consumed a tremendous amount of beef in his diet. I don't know if you've ever seen Kai eat, but he eats like, ungodly amounts of food. I used to take him out to eat, and, the plates just keep piling up, and he'd just be sitting there and going through it. And so, carnivore actually, was became a part of Kai's regimen because it allowed him to get the beef protein in at the levels that, that he wanted and needed.
Yeah. How many steaks did you go through that day at the photo shoot? Just curious.
I think we had, yeah, we went through about six, I believe.
Oof.
Six, seven, yeah. Kai was getting, poor Kai had to keep biting into this raw
Yeah.
steak,
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was a good sport about it. And, it took to get get the shot we wanted, it took a little bit of time. So he had to keep biting into these different steaks, and we wanted to get the steak that looked right. We looked at different, so it all ended up, but
Well worth it.
yeah, I mean, the people right away identified with that ad, and people, as you remember it, people still remember that ad. It was
Yeah.
kind of an iconic ad.
So beef protein isolate, everyone's familiar with whey protein isolate that we had that around for many, many years. What are the advantages of beef protein isolate over whey? What does it have that whey doesn't have, or what does it not have that whey has that we don't want? What are the differences between the two?
Well, whey is a good protein. Whey is a good source of protein. Whey isolate. One of the things that whey isolate is the reason why people liked it was a high concentration of amino acids and fast absorption. And you pretty much get that with beef protein isolate. It's very fast absorbed. It's actually more concentrated in protein than whey. Whey protein isolate's at around 90% typically. Um, our beef protein isolate comes in at around 98%. Pure protein. One of the biggest attributes is that it's lactose free.
Ah,
So, a lot of people have some lactose intolerance. I know myself, if I push the protein too high, 25 grams of whey protein, my stomach can usually tolerate.
yeah.
But when you push it to 40 grams of protein, 50 grams of protein per serving, a lot of people sometimes get that stomach distress. Your stomach gets all gassy and gurgly. And
Mm,
so carnivore, a lot of people have gravitated to carnivore because of the fact that you're getting the benefits of high concentrations of amino acids, fast absorption, but no lactose.
yeah, and that's key because I don't know what percentage of the population is lactose intolerant. I believe it's at least 50%, something like that. And like you said, bodybuilders, they're not having 20 grams of whey protein when they have whey protein. They're all getting 40 to 50 grams at a shot, maybe even more. So, an hour after that, most bodybuilders are not somebody you want to be around, and their family and friends don't want to be around them because it's the gas. The gas is horrible. So, man, right there, that's a selling point because, yeah, nobody wants to be that guy. So, you also have some research studies done. You had a study done that showed the actual muscle building properties and benefits of beef protein isolate. What was that all about?
Yeah, exactly. So, we wanted to see, how the beef protein would react in athletes. So we did a clinical study, and it showed in 8 weeks the subjects gained up to 8 pounds of muscle. So, there's proven muscle building benefits of the beef protein isolate. So, which obviously that's the key. That's the reason why athletes are taking, their protein is to help support the muscle growth.
Right. And honestly, when I first heard beef protein isolate, even when I first saw that ad with Kai, I thought to myself, this stuff is going to taste horrendous. I love steak, but I don't want to drink a shake that tastes like a steak. Uh, I'm sure the flavoring process for carnivore was a process. What was it like to get it tasting as good as it tastes now?
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because the perception is just that. People are like, I don't know, how's this stuff going to taste? So that's usually one of the first obstacles of getting people to say, okay, I'm going to try this.
Mm,
Um, I think you've tried it. Fortunately, we've
mm,
gotten a taste where people actually really do enjoy the taste.
yeah.
it was a process, to be honest with you. You know, it took a lot of bench work, a lot of work over the course of the years, refining the process to get the actual raw material of the beef protein to be as clean and palatable as possible. And then we worked very closely with a lot of different flavor chemists and flavor specialists to really get the flavor where we needed it to be.
Because the first iterations, the first couple versions of Carnivore, they weren't, your standard chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. It was, I believe, like fruit punch and raspberry, correct?
Exactly. It was interestingly, when I came with the concept of beef protein, and I liked the research and I liked the concept. The biggest challenge originally was when I went to the formulators, the flavor specialists. When they were experimenting with the product, they had pretty much in the beginning had said, "Listen, I don't think chocolate is the direction we should go." They felt that a fruit flavor would be a better direction to go. At first, I was apprehensive to do that because chocolate is always the top selling flavor
Yeah.
across the board in all proteins. So, but I went with what their opinion was and their expertise. So the first two flavors we launched was, as you said, it was fruit punch and blue raspberry, and the flavors were good. Some people, honestly, were when it comes to, again, they want chocolate. They're looking for chocolate.
Yes.
But we just stuck with the development of the product. We refined the beef protein, and we continued to work with different flavor specialists. And ultimately, we nailed the chocolate, and then we expanded to a lot of other flavors. Chocolate peanut butter. We're coming out with cappuccino, cookies and cream. So we've expanded all the different flavors. So now now that we've got the actual raw material really purified, really clean, and our flavor chemists really know how to work with it. The taste has been a lot of people have liked the taste.
Yeah, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but that I've been drinking the chocolate and it tastes a lot like those little Yoo-hoo drinks that came in a little glass, like
Yeah.
little chocolate milk things. It makes me real reminiscent of my nostalgic for my childhood there. Yeah.
Yeah, the RTDs, the RTDs actually was a second phase of development. Those came later on, and that goes through a whole different process. So we actually had to work with some different flavor chemists on that. But we're happy with the end result of that product. One of the things that with that product is it's very clean. If you look at the nutritional profile on that.
Zero, 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 zero fat, zero lactose, zero sugar, zero gluten, and 40 grams of protein in this little can. That's pretty amazing. You were able to do that.
Yeah, so that was the goal. We were trying to, come up with being as I explained to you, it's 98% pure protein. So with the RTD, the goal there was to say, let's make it as clean as possible. Let's keep it sugar free. Obviously, it's lactose free, it's cholesterol free, it's fat free. So that was the primary focus.
And just the format, the RTD format, it was very, very popular for a long time. Then it seemed to me like it went away for a while, where you barely saw RTDs being sold or used. And it seemed like they're making a resurgence because I don't know about you guys, but unless you work at home or something, you can always sit there and mix up a shake, or you want to be taking containers with powder and mixing them up and getting all that clumpy stuff. RTDs are the way to go because you can keep one of these in your desk at work. You can keep one in a little cooler. You can keep one in your car, in your backpack. It's such a convenient way because bodybuilders, the worst thing for us is missing meals and especially missing our protein servings because we're trying to hit these macros every day. We're trying to hit our 200 grams of protein or 300 or 400, whatever it is. And this is a way to ensure it's a good insurance policy, just keeping those around. Forget about apocalypse and virus pandemics where you want to have things like this stocked up too, but just day to day so you don't have to miss a meal.
Yeah, the convenience factor is big, and let's face it, the powders, you know, um, are great when you're home, like you said, and stuff. But the convenience factor when you're on the go, they do very well in gyms as well. The
Mm,
gyms stock up the RTDs, and you know, people that when they're done training, they just grab their protein and go. So the RTDs has become and started to become a big market again.
yeah,
The on the go, that whole category of on the go nutrition is actually growing.
yeah. Yeah, because it makes sense. I don't know why it ever slowed down, to be honest with you. It's one of those weird things. So the company, the product has become such a big hit all over the world. You know, it's been 11 years now. 11 years ago when you launched it, did you foresee it would become this popular and stay popular for as long as it has?
You know, I was honestly, I was very optimistic about the potential of this product, and
Mm,
for a few reasons. Protein is the biggest category by far. When you look at sports nutrition,
mm,
you know, protein represents still the majority of the market share. You know, followed by pre-workouts, amino acids, and then you got your post-workouts, and segmented all the way down. But still, protein makes up the lion's share of the market. So I knew that the opportunity was big. I also knew that people would understand the benefit of the product.
mm.
At the time, I was very excited about the launching of Carnivore and the potential. Did I think it would get as big as it is? Probably not, because now it's like you said, we're globally in over 70 different countries.
Wow.
We're number one seller in the world.
Mm.
So yeah, so
Congratulations. Wow.
really, yeah, so it's really, it's really taken off, and people really understand, the benefits of the product. And like I said, the lactose free, the research that we have behind it for muscle building. So all that, comes into play with the success of the product.
Cool. So we have the original Carnivore, which I'm going to call Carnivore Classic, in reference to the old Coca-Cola, which came out with New Coke. But you also launched three different offshoots of it, three different variations of Carnivore. So if you could let people know what does each one of these have that they might be interested in for a specific goal. So Carnivore Mass, what's that? Who's that for?
Well, carnivore mass, that's really for people who are looking to add body weight. One of the things that I've always realized when talking with people, and sometimes people come to me for advice on nutrition, supplementation, and you get the hard gainers or the younger kids that are looking to put on weight, and they're always saying, "Oh, I eat a lot, but I just can't put on the size."
Yeah.
And I always ask them, like, okay, so when you say you eat a lot, what do you eat in a day?
Right.
So they'll tell me what they eat in a day, and I'm kind of like, you're not eating a lot. You're just not eating enough.
Right. Right. Right.
Especially if you're active. If you get these younger athletes who, you're young, your metabolism's flying, you're training, you're doing your conditioning for your sport, your weight training. And then you have your hard gainers as well, right? People with just
Yeah.
super fast metabolisms. And then you have people, quite honestly, that just, they think they're eating a lot, but they just don't have a big enough appetite. They're just not able to get, when people, I think you understand this, Ron. You've been doing this a long time. You
Mm.
know, to eat to eat 4,000 calories a day in clean calories is not an easy task.
That's a lot of food.
It's a
That's a
lot
lot
of
of food.
food,
Yeah.
and sometimes that's what people need in order to add body weight. So with carnivore mass, my concept was, how do we get, so we deliver 50 grams of beef protein isolate with 125 grams of carbohydrates. And, we use a mixture of maltodextrin, which is a very fast acting, easy to digest carbohydrate with waxy maize. That combination, is well digested, well absorbed. But we also use different types of enzymes to break down those carbohydrates even quicker. And then we use insulin optimizers so that, as the carbohydrates are being broken down quickly, increasing insulin, which is anabolic, as you know, at the
Yeah.
same time, the way the beef protein isolate is being processed and digested quickly, sparking protein synthesis. So it's a whole kind of, not to get technical, but like kind of anabolic cascade that's going on.
Hmm.
And then using the insulin optimizer so that your body utilizes those and draws it into the muscle tissue.
Yeah, I like that anabolic cascade. I like the way that sounds. So you have carnivore mass, and then this sounds like the polar opposite for people looking to get shredded. You have carnivore shred. So what did you put in carnivore shred to achieve that goal?
In carnivore shred, we have a few fat burning ingredients. We have grains of paradise, which people aren't really that familiar with it, but it has been shown in research to increase brown adipose tissue
Mm.
and calorie burning.
Yeah.
They showed in the study that using a clinical dose, which is in the carnivore shred, that you'll burn like an extra 100 calories a day just by taking this. So we have that green tea and some other, thermogenics to help boost your metabolism. So the goal around Carnivor Shred is obviously, while you're taking your protein with the goal of building muscle, we give you other things in there that are going to, at the same time, help boost your metabolism so you can burn body fat.
Which is pretty much what everyone I ever talk to, that's what they want. How do I build muscle and get lean? I usually tell them pick one at a time, but it's awesome that you have a product that can help them accomplish both of those goals
Yeah, it
at
does
the
very
same
well
time.
for us because,
Yeah.
like you said, it's kind of helping people achieve both their objectives.
Last but not least, you came up with Carnivore Keto for all those people out there who subscribe to the keto diet. So I assume it's in full compliance with keto.
Yeah, it's balanced for a keto diet. It's we have high levels of fats with MCTs. Um, we have the carnivore beef protein in there, low in carbohydrates, of course, so you get your body into ketosis. Yeah, so we really developed this because the ketogenic diet, has become very popular,
Hmm.
and a lot of people are following this diet. And one thing that I think that people who are following the diet sometimes overlook, they usually just think, okay, let's eliminate carbohydrates,
Right.
and that will get you into ketosis. But the problem with that is if you're not taking in fats or additional calories, you're going to become catabolic pretty quickly.
Hmm.
So that's why I thought it would be good for these people who aspire to do the ketogenic diet to have a formula that's kind of balanced, so that they can perform optimally or as optimally as you can without carbohydrates.
That brings me to another question for you. There's been a really big focus lately on vegan and plant-based diets and documentaries on Netflix promoting it. And they would have you believe you can build just as much muscle and you can look just the same. And the argument that I always have to laugh at is they say, look at a gorilla. Gorillas doesn't eat meat. I'm like, yeah, well, a gorilla doesn't work out. He just looks like that. That's like saying a giraffe grows to 18 feet tall because of those special leaves it eats off that tree. What is your take on the whole vegan plant-based diet movement and how it applies toward bodybuilders?
Um, Personally, and also if you look at the research, so I don't think a vegan diet is optimal for muscle building.
Mm.
Can you build muscle? Can you perform on a vegan diet? I think you can. I think if you follow a strict vegan diet, are very conscientious about making sure you get in a lot of protein through vegetable sources, which is difficult to do. You can perform well, and you can get by with it. It has some it may have some health benefits, as we talked about. Large consumptions of uh, you know of fats and so forth. Bring other risks. But if you look at the research on animal proteins and versus plant proteins, the animal proteins offer a much higher anabolic response, more better protein synthesis. If you look at the amount of plant proteins plant protein you have to eat in
Yeah.
order to get the similar protein synthesis response from as beef, it's just you'll see it's just disproportionately much more in favor of the beef protein or the whey proteins, the animal proteins.
Yeah. I mean, every big, strong guy I've ever known over all these years, they ate beef, chicken, fish, pork, whatever. They ate a lot of meat. And I'm not saying you have to eat pounds and pounds of meat a day, but I really do believe you have to have meat in your diet if you want to ultimately get your full potential, size wise, strength wise. It just makes sense. We're omnivores. Our species evolved eating game. Woolly mammoths and I don't know what else we were eating. Some kind of animals. So we weren't just eating twigs and berries this whole time, all
Yeah, and
these
listen,
years.
everybody's goals change, so you know if your main goal as a younger aspiring athlete, or is to be competitive, compete, or build as much muscle as you can, then to me, a diet that consists of eating animal based proteins is going to be more favorable.
Right.
If
And
right? So
Yeah. Well, I mean, luckily, guys, you don't have to worry about cholesterol and all that. You don't have to eat 5 pounds of beef a day. If you pick up carnivore beef protein isolate, you're going to get all the benefits of beef without slamming down 20 pounds of steak a day. So thanks for bringing it to market. It's something, if you hadn't done it, I don't know if it ever would have been done, honestly. That's it. Well, thank you, Gerard. Thank you for telling us all about the product, explaining how it came to be and why it's a good choice for bodybuilders, serious weight trainers out there. Hope you stay very safe and secure over there. Hope we all do. And that's all.
all
Thanks,
right,
guys, for watching Ronline Report with MuscleMed CEO Gerard Dente. Thanks for watching.
thanks, pal.